Yo, YouTube, what's good? I'm just gonna make a little video here about how to play the Frost Ice Lance build that I've made a couple videos about. The build that kind of, says no casting, it's pretty much all lance. So this build is heavily cleave damage based. But there is something, you still are gonna have consistent damage, consistent single target damage, because you are gonna actually run glacial with this build. The reason why is because actually on the 20th, which by the time this video goes up it might even be in, I'm not sure when I'll post this, but glacial spike is getting a 15% buff, ice lance is getting like a 15% buff, flurry is getting a 15% buff, and then splitting ice is going from 65 to 80. So Frost is getting some massive damage buffs, and I did actually drop glacial in my previous build and brain freeze since we were never casting frostbolt, and it was usually a DPS loss to cast glacial spike, and then I went with 2 in splintering cold. But I think that this talent is kind of low value because your flurries have longer cooldowns and you're not frostbolting to generate more flurries with like brain freeze. So I didn't really like this, and now that glacial got buffed again, well, obviously we want to go back to glacial spike because it's going to probably truck people. So basically what we're doing for this damage rotation here is we're going to be trying to not over generate lance procs by orbing and veinsing. If you guys didn't know, whenever you veins you get a charge of brain freeze, which is a flurry proc, and you get a charge of fingers of frost. The idea of the build is that you just want to keep hucking lances. It's a heavy cleave build, relying on splitting ice, doing a lot of cleave damage. You also have orb damage. You are using your blizzard. You have freezing rain here, which makes your blizzard instant cast. You're not really doing it for the damage, you're more or less doing it for this, the CDR on your frozen orb. This is going to ensure that you can generate hella procs basically. So now we'll just kind of get into it. Basically what I usually do to ensure I don't over generate is I veins first. Another thing to note, sub-zero, basically if you flurry a target and then you throw fingers of frost procs into the flurry, you're going to get benefit from sub-zero, dealing 20% more. So that is kind of why I'm about to do this opener that I will show you here. Let me go enchanters, because I do play enchanters with this build usually. So basically how I start is I will veins on use trinket. I can start with a ring of fire cast if I can get it off, because that's just more cleave. So I'll do that here, and then I'll throw my flurry orb. Now the ice lance procs I'm getting here are affected by sub-zero because I threw them into flurry. I have some downtime so I can flurry to ensure that these are also getting benefit. And you can see I'm putting my blizzard on top of all these targets, which is basically resetting your orb very fast. And one thing to note also is every lance you throw extends your veins by 1 second. You can see my veins actually went up in cooldown there. So that's just something to note, that you're trying to really make sure you're just extending your veins. You can see I have another orb. Boom. I can actually get my instant blizzard in there. I don't want to ring of fire here because I'll over generate on procs. You can even walk up and press a snowdrift if you want. My blizzard is off cooldown, so I'll keep spamming that. And then here it's like you could glacial spike, and you could ice nova it to get the benefit from sub-zero. If you guys didn't know, abilities into ice nova count for sub-zero. So then I'm just going to keep lancing. I have some downtime here. Glacial spike, use that blizzard before it runs out, and then yeah, so as you guys can see, now I have another veins, and I can basically just repeat the process. So I could veins, ring of fire, throw the flurry. I should have orbed first. There we go. Blizzard, lance, some downtime where I don't have 2 procs, which means I can afford to fit a glacial in there because I knew I wouldn't overgenerate. Here you can shifting power to get your orb back real quick. Boom. This, I don't have 2, so I can fit a global in there, so I'll ring of fire, so I knew I wouldn't overgenerate procs there. Get that blizzard down, still spamming, glacial spike here, and then yeah, basically you guys get the idea. That's kind of just the general idea of the build. If you guys are finding yourself with more downtime than is shown here, because I'm cleaving a lot of targets, I can show you briefly here. So let's just say, I do this, throw my flurry, orb, you know, get the sub-zero value from those. You're still pumping. I can throw that instant blizzard down, making sure I don't want to over-generate here, so I'm still hucking all my lances. And then you can see here, because I didn't cleave a million targets, there is actually like 38 seconds left on my orb here, so this is going to be some downtime that's going to, you know, people are going to struggle with knowing what to do in this downtime here. You can see I'm shifting power, and then I'm also using my ice flows to try to, you know, maybe find a pack of, maybe you're fighting a hunter, you can just blizzard the pets, maybe a windwalker pops his images, maybe a mage pops mirror images. You know, you're trying to use your blizzard on, you know, as many targets as you can. So now I have my orb back, boom, instant blizzard. I can throw it on like a pack of pets or something, and then if there is no pack of pets and you're just using it on single target, then basically how you're I'll wait for my procs to run out here. Basically what you're doing, if you have, like, let's say you glacial, you know, there's 20 seconds here, let's say you have no flurries, you can even just simply ice nova and then lance into that. You could do it again. You could ice flows your ring of fire, ice flows your blizzard, throw your flurries as you get them. So like, there is stuff to do in your downtime, you just basically have to find it. And glacial is going to actually give you that nice you know, kind of thing to do in your downtime, because it also gives you a nice frozen root at the end of that as well. So basically that's all I have. I hope this video was helpful, and yeah, that's all I really have for now. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.